Welcome to this training session on configuring and managing storage accounts in Microsoft Azure. Today, our primary focus will be on an incredibly powerful feature, configuring object replication. Let's get started on understanding how to automatically copy your data across regions. Let's start with the definition. What exactly is object replication? In Azure, object replication is an automated feature that copies your block blobs asynchronously from a designated source storage account to a destination storage account. When you configure this, Azure doesn't just copy the file itself. The replication includes the blob's content, its metadata properties, and even its previous versions. It is important to note that this feature is built specifically for block blobs. Furthermore, because this process happens asynchronously in the background, there is a slight replication delay before your data appears in the destination account. This makes it highly efficient but distinct from synchronous, real-time mirroring. Looking at this diagram, you can easily perceive the core flow of object replication. On the left, we have our source storage account, which holds our block blobs. When a new blob is added or modified, an asynchronous copy process is triggered, pointing toward the right to the destination storage account. Notice the bottom nodes. The system ensures that the exact content, associated metadata, and blob versions are identically recreated in the destination. This hands-off flow is entirely managed by the Azure Storage Platform. Now that we know what it is, why should we use object replication? The first major benefit is latency reduction. By replicating data to different regions, you enable clients to read data from a location that is in closer physical proximity to them. Secondly, it drives compute efficiency. Your compute workloads can process the exact same sets of block blobs simultaneously across different geographical regions. Thirdly, it offers excellent data distribution capabilities. You can process large data jobs in a single region and effortlessly distribute just the results to other regions. Finally, it unlocks massive cost optimization. Once data is safely replicated, you can apply lifecycle management policies to move that replicated data into the highly affordable archive tier. This tree diagram breaks down the 4 core business drivers for implementing object replication. From the central node, we branch out to reducing latency for end users, compute efficiency for regional processing, and data distribution for sharing analytics. Let's focus on the rightmost branch, cost optimization. This branch specifically leads to moving data to the archive tier. By combining object replication with lifecycle policies, you essentially create a globally distributed, highly cost-effective storage architecture. Before you can successfully implement object replication, you must meet a few strict prerequisites. First and foremost, blob versioning must be enabled on both the source and the destination storage accounts. This ensures that Azure can track exact versions of files during the copy. Additionally, the source storage account must have the blob change feed enabled. The change feed provides a transactional log of all modifications, which the replication engine uses to know what to copy. If you forget to turn these on, don't worry, Azure will automatically enable them for you when you create your first replication rule, though this might increase storage costs. Lastly, it is critical to know that object replication does not support blob snapshots. Any snapshots in the source account will simply be ignored. This flowchart highlights the technical prerequisites required for object replication to function. When we ask, prerequisites met, a no forces us to enable 2 key features. First, blob versioning must be activated on both the source and destination accounts. Second, the blob change feed must be activated, specifically on the source account only. Once those are established, we can proceed to configure replication. I've also included a separate node for blob snapshots with an X to visually reinforce that snapshots are absolutely not supported in this architecture. Let's dive into how access tiers and policies work. Object replication is highly flexible when it comes to storage tiers. It is supported when your source and destination accounts are utilizing the hot, cool, or cold tiers. Even better, the source and destination accounts can be in completely different tiers. For example, your source could be hot for active processing, while your destination is cool for cheaper retention. To set this up, you create a replication policy that links your chosen source Azure storage account to your destination account. A policy acts as an umbrella. Inside that policy, you create 1 or more replication rules that specifically map an individual source container to a target destination container. This diagram illustrates the hierarchical structure of a replication policy. The overarching replication policy binds the source account and the destination account together. The true magic happens at the container level. You can see the source container mapping directly to the destination container via a rule mapping. This structure allows you to selectively replicate only specific containers rather than forcing you to replicate the entire storage account, giving you granular control over your data movement. How do we actually configure these rules? It's quite straightforward. In the Azure portal, you navigate to your storage account, find Object Replication under Data Management, and click Create Replication Rules. Here, you will pair your source containers with your destination containers. However, there is an important scale limit you need to know for the exam. If you are building these rules manually using the Azure portal GUI, you can only define up to 10 replication rules per policy. If your enterprise requires massive scale, you bypass this limit by defining your rules programmatically in a JSON file and uploading it. Using the JSON upload method, Azure allows you to scale up to an impressive 1,000 replication rules per single policy. This decision tree highlights the critical limits based on your deployment methodology. When creating replication rules, you choose your path. Taking the Azure portal GUI path on the left restricts you to a maximum of 10 rules per policy. Taking the JSON file upload path on the right expands your limit to 1,000 rules per policy. Regardless of the scale you choose, both paths ultimately converge on the same action, mapping a specific source container to a corresponding destination container. Often, a container holds vast amounts of data, but you only need to replicate a fraction of it. Object replication allows you to limit the replication scope, so you don't waste bandwidth and money. You limit the scope by specifying a prefix match filter for the blobs within your rules. For example, if you have a massive container but only want to replicate financial data, you can set a prefix filter like data/cost/. Azure will only copy blobs that match that exact prefix path. Furthermore, you have granular control over the timeline. You can specify the copy over setting during rule creation to choose between copying everything currently in the container or copying only new objects that are created after the rule is established. Let's follow the data flow through a replication filter. Data leaves the source container and hits our prefix filter, which is set to data/. Any blob matching this prefix, like data/cost or data/logs, successfully passes through and is approved to replicate to the destination. Blobs that fail the match, such as those in a temp/folder, are dropped and do not replicate. For the approved blobs, they must pass through one final gate, the copy over setting, where you dictate if historical data is included or only brand new objects. While powerful, we must do a deep dive into the constraints and caveats of object replication. The first major architectural limit is that a single source storage account can only replicate out to a maximum of 2 destination accounts. You cannot broadcast from one source to 10 different destinations. Secondly, there is a critical behavioral change. Once you establish a replication policy, the destination container is instantly locked down and becomes strictly read-only. You can no longer perform any write operations directly against that destination container. Finally, be mindful of your budget. The replication engine operates by performing multiple read and write transactions against both the source and destination accounts behind the scenes. These transactions are billable and will incur additional costs on your monthly invoice. This architecture diagram visually reinforces the strict constraints of the service. We have a single source storage account successfully replicating to destination account 1 and destination account 2. Notice the red dashed line pointing to destination account 3. This is explicitly blocked because of the maximum limit of 2 destination accounts per source. Additionally, I've highlighted the status of the destination accounts at the bottom. Both are flagged as read-only, reminding us that the destination completely rejects direct write operations once the policy is active. For our final deep dive, we must clarify a common misconception. Object replication should absolutely not be relied upon as a backup service. Because it is asynchronous, there is a small delay before changes appear, but crucially, if you accidentally delete or corrupt a file on the source, that error will be faithfully replicated to the destination, destroying the copy as well. To protect data, use true Azure Backup or soft delete. Instead, the true power of object replication shines when paired with cost optimization strategies. You can configure lifecycle management rules on your destination account to automatically sweep aging replicated data into the archive tier. This brilliant combination allows you to distribute processing workloads globally while ensuring your long-term data retention is as cheap and cost-effective as possible. Our final diagram shows the perfect marriage of object replication and lifecycle management. Data asynchronously copies from the source to the destination. Once resting in the destination account, a lifecycle policy continuously evaluates the data. If the data age exceeds our defined threshold, like 30 days, it is automatically moved to the ultra-cheap archive tier. If it's newer, it stays in the hot or cool tier. Note the dashed line at the bottom. It's a stark reminder that if you delete a blob on the source, that deletion command flows right across and deletes it on the destination too.
Welcome to quicktechie.com. So just type in quicktechie.com here. Then you can go through the material which is provided by Quicktechie. So we have first of all video courses which you can go here and you can find the various video courses across the technologies as well as finance domain. So if you see in Microsoft, we have 8 programs currently running. Next, you can go through the ebooks available. So all the ebooks which are in PDF format today, and you can download this. So let me go through Microsoft certification ebooks. You can click on any of this and you can see this is the PDF available for you to download. So these are the premium ebook mostly available on quicktechie.com platform only. Now the second part is exam simulator. As we primarily focus on the all technology companies and finance domain certification preparation material, so this is company wide listed here and you can go through this. So let me go through the Microsoft one again. You can see this is all Microsoft related certification. AB 730 exam, if you open it, so you can see here this, and all the practice papers are available here. Today we have a 5 practice paper. So click on the first practice paper. It would load the questions. You can answer this question. This is way you can answer it and you can move to the next question. Now the third material we wanted to highlight is an audiobook. So we started recently with the audiobooks as well, which you can listen on the go, and various technology wise ebooks are available. And at the last, this is our alumni. These people who are subscribing to our courses and this platform, they are all listed here. And at the end, I wanted to tell you, if you find any course or training or certification preparation material which you want to get us prepared for yourself, please put on the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube, on Udemy, or on this platform itself, quicktechie.com, then please put the comment, or you can even send an email to using this contact us options here. You can directly do the WhatsApp message. You can call us on this numbers as well.